Kakuna is banned from ADV UU, and so is Bayleaf, and so is Cascoon, and so is Charmeleon, and so is every single NFE and Little Cup Pokemon all the way to Zubat. They're all banned from ADV UU. And it's because ADV UU has one of the most bizarre rules in all of competitive Pokemon. NFEs aren't allowed in ADV UU. And to understand this rule, you have to go all the way back to when ADV was still the current gen. And at the time, OU was established, and they were now looking at UU. But there was a lot of uncertainty about what UU would be. In particular, there was a lot of concern that UU would just be OU light. And what that means is basically they were scared that UU would just become the same thing as OU, but with weaker Pokemon. So for example, Chansey instead of Blissey, Kadabra instead of Alakazam, Haunter instead of Gengar. The idea was that there would be no point in having a UU tier if it was just going to be the same thing as OU, but just weaker, right? And now today we know how kind of dumb that thinking was because, there is no analog to Zapdos, right? Pupitar is not Tyranitar, The whole idea doesn't really hold up at all, right? But at the time, UU was still uncharted territory. No one knew how UU would turn out. We know UU succeeded now, but at the time, there was no guarantee that UU would be something as big as it is now. And there was a lot of caution about how to proceed. And they went for kind of a scorched earth approach and said, you know what, we're just going to ban everything we think might be an issue. And that's how ultimately we ended up with NFEs being banned, because they were too scared of this concept of OU light. And one bizarre thing is they somehow allowed Scyther into the game, into ADV UU. And presumably it was because Scyther was fundamentally different from Scizor. But even then, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have that exception. 2004 really was the Wild West in terms of competitive Pokemon. But we started to see a change in 2008. And 2008 is where you can actually see the birth of a modern UU. Where someone said, hey, wait a minute, this NFE rule is pretty garbage, If an NFE is broken in UU, we can ban the NFE. And otherwise, who cares? Let's treat NFE Pokemon as regular Pokemon. They're nothing special. So during the beginning of DPP, this NFE rule was actually removed. And now we see UU as we see it today, where NFEs are not treated any differently, and they're just another part of the tiering process. So that change in DPP is now affecting us today, and it appears to be the right decision to make that change back then. And now a new topic has come into the picture. Now that we know better, should we try and change ADV UU? And this is actually a pretty heated topic of discussion. So on one side, people want to fix ADV UU and remove that NFE clause, right? Because ultimately, it's never too late to right a wrong, and this NFE clause is clearly wrong. But on the other side of things, we have people who want it to stay the same. And the idea is that, it's been 15 years since that decision was made. We've been playing that way for a long, long time, There's no need to rock the boat. The rule isn't hurting anyone. ADV UU is fun right now. Let's just call it a relic of the past and then move on with our lives. We don't need to, we don't need to fix something that isn't broken, because right now people are having fun playing ADV UU. We don't need to fix it, right? And that's basically the explanation for how ADV UU became so bizarre. And what do you think? Should we fix ADV UU? I'm not sure myself. So what do you think? Leave a comment down below what you think we should do about ADV UU. Should we fix it? Or should we just let it be and leave it in the past? Thank you.